Hey, what is up everybody? Blades here, and today for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about 2.1 and above. What's pretty much the next big thing for our characters that we're summoning for. Seeing that 2.0 is about to get announced and many of us are already summoning for Cord, there's already some people who are trying to plan for the future. So we're going to be going over some of those characters in which are going to be the next big thing. So if you guys are interested in this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. But let's get straight into it. So 2.0, of course, is bringing out Cord once again, to the point that you guys are probably sick of me saying it. There's been so many times I've mentioned this girl that I know a lot of you guys really want to see something new. Granted, we're finally going to be seeing a newer characters here, and I'm on my TW to actually showcase this, seeing that 2.1 is going to bring out our first roll of seasonal units. So the seasonal units that we're firstly going to get on the 2.1 update is going to be Summer Motoha. Summer Motoha is a AoE character who is actually very good for the blessed side and our first blessed DPS to boot. This character is actually insanely busted, and if you are a person who ended up getting Marian, you're really going to benefit off of her. Due to overheals that she actually will end up taking in, this will help her third skill do even more damage and help her kit overall, dealing a ton of AoE damage to the enemy. She also can refresh this based on even more overhealing that she has, and it can make for a devastating combo. Character can be paired with anyone who really overheals a lot, so Marian is going to be your go-to for this one, but she also can be paired with Cord. As I did say, Cord is a universal unit, so for this DPS she's insanely good. Now for some of you guys who are out here trying to ask if the weapons do work the same way for these characters, they do not. They're much like stat sticks, so you will have to summon for a different weapon if you are planning on doing the 2.1 character, but it's still a decent character to go for her. And so if you wanted to end up building her, there's not really much you have to try and go into. If it was up to me, just focus on the skill 3, skill 1, and then go for the highlight. But that's pretty much all I have to say about this character. She's one of the next big things that a lot of you guys are gonna look up forward to, but we're only going to talk all the way up to 2.3, seeing the next big thing is going to be at the end of the video. But next character that we are talking about here is going to be the second seasonal unit, which is going to be Summer Moko. For my fans out there who love Haru, this is going to be your best wanted character, seeing that she helps out in the EHR department. EHR is going to be one of the few stats that Haru is going to hardcore crutch on, and you're going to need a lot of it to actually get her damage off. Well, Summer Tomoko is a new Psi unit, but unfortunately not a DPS Psi unit, and she's able to actually heal quite a decent bit. He has gotten, I think, a buff or two in the past, and I'm pretty sure they're going to buff her again on global. It's just, I think it's just a noticeable thing at this point that every character that comes out is going to get a buff on global. She's most likely going to get another one, which currently with the buffs that she does have, she heals very well. Her buff actually gave her weapon a good little increase, and then she also got an extra damage bonus increase, I think on one of her awarenesses, or maybe it's in her base kit. Someone correct me on that if you know as well. She's a character that I don't use too often, but still is a very good unit, seeing that she can be used in characters such as Messa, she can use with Haru in the future, and any character that kind of needs a little bit of a healer. So she does follow-ups as well, so she can deal a little bit of damage, just don't expect the craziest amount of damage with it. She also can make the enemy increase the damage dealt taken, so I mean, you do get a little bit of a debuffer out of her with a lot of heals, so there is a little bit of plus with this too. Now for her skills, if you did want to go ahead and look for her as the next big thing on your checkmark list, there's not much you really have to get up. You will end up using the skill 2 and the skill 3. The skill 1 you will use every now and again, but normally it's just going to be the skill 2, skill 3. Skill 2 is going to be starting off to go ahead and give you a heal, which gives you the EHR effect that you do need in order to deal more damage with Haru. Skill 3 applies that damage increase on the enemy, meaning you're going to deal way more in general. And then of course her highlight is also really nice as well, giving you a nice old heal and also getting a nice hit on the enemy. So I mean, like, you will get some nice things out of this. It's all going to go back to, of course, the follow-up mechanic, which every follow-up will give you a practical heal. So she's another good character that you guys can focus up on, but not the one that we're going to be looking up to right now. Then we have the next update, which is going to be the 2.2 instead of going to 2.1.3, which was a standard banner / rerun time. 2.2 was Messa. Messa was another character who is an extremely awesome character. I ended up duping this man all the way out. I really do love him, but the issue with him is he has two different play styles. Although his cool attire is pretty dang cool, and he does remind you with his mask on of something like Akechi with his psychotic nature, he is a really cool character and awesome dude to really know about, especially once you see his his social link aspects. But enough of that little glazing for a quick second. I had to get that out of the way. Two ways he can be played as more as a DPS, physical DPS at that, and the other way can be more of a DOT unit. This character does wield a bleed that can be qualified as almighty damage, so it made him very interesting. Though the issue with him is a lot of his things are kind of gatekept based on his awareness. For example, at A0, if you do not have any dupes on this dude, much like how I do, you're going to end up only using him for more or less, I wouldn't say DOT. He's bound to this because one of his main deals, which is laceration, is going to be heavily locked behind his A3 awareness, which increases the amount of damage he can end up doing with that said stat. If you guys want to take a little bit of a look on my screen, you guys should be able to see lafel.net. Once again, a website that I would highly advise you guys to go ahead and look at if you want to find out anything about a character, but it thoroughly goes over this as well. As you can see, he is a DOT DPS with love for pierce rate, but the laceration stack, which comes with his secondary form, the execution mode, is more or less going to benefit off his awarenesses. At A0, he can go into both of these forms, but it only really helps out his bleeding stacks. While more of the laceration or incision, I guess is what they're calling it over here, you'll end up getting it at A2. Usually it's at the A3 side if I remember correctly. So I think it's A2 on global, or will be A2 on global. This allows him to deal more increased physical damage with this in general, which is going to be very, very helpful, and increases his damage dealt. The only way you're going to be able to use this is if you do get that A2 and above, so that's where things are going to kind of divide a bit. If you go ahead and check out a little bit of his actual setup, it does say the physical damage side, but that's only if you're using him for physical damage type aspects, because he'll have more pierce rate in his kit rather than the DOT aspects, which is usually what a lot of people are going to end up using if you don't end up getting that lovely amount of awarenesses. But you've been warned. If you want to go for him, he's insanely a really good unit here, and I continue glazing him, but I need to hurry up and get off this guy. Now, the last thing I gotta say, if you want to invest in him, let's say you're going for A6, or even if you're going for A3, you want to just get everything up. You're going to need everything that you want up here, and that's really going to help you out. As if you're going for A0, you're really just going to get up the A1 skill and the A3. The A2 technically, or at least the skill 2, is technically not the one you're going to use too often, but I would suggest this character is one of the few that are in the game that you might want to get everything up, because he will do a lot, and although you won't be using his laceration techniques too much, he is still a very powerful unit, so consider getting him as well. Then we're going ahead and taking a look at the next update, which is the big one. This is the one that I feel like a lot of you guys should be the next in line for looking forward to, and that is going to be Futaba. Now, Futaba came out in 2.3.1, which if we're in 2.0 on global, right, we have about 3, let me go ahead and double check here. We have about 1, 2, 3, 4 banners that we have to go through, or just 3 and then count Futaba herself as 4. And that is going to have a lot of things that you're going to look forward to. Futaba ended up releasing another crossfade, which was right before Haru's release. If you guys want to know when Haru's coming out, she is right after Futaba, after of course a Cherish, Cherish is introduced into the game, but she is insanely good. If you guys have played HSR, she is the new Silver Wolf and is going to be the new talk of the town alongside of Ford. She's still part of the pretty much 3 deities when it does come down to the best units in the game, and the reason being is because she does have weakness implant. With her skill 1 taking down defenses and her skill 3 allowing these her to manipulate really weaknesses, it makes yourself really powerful. Not to mention she can end up helping herself out with giving your other teammates crit rate, which is a huge deal as well. Not too many characters are going to give you just crit rate off bat. She is a offensive nabby that many of us have been waiting for ages. She's going to be our second 5-star nabby as well, so once we do get her, all the 4 stars are pretty much going to go bye-bye. So there will be no need for those type of characters, and this is going to be the one character a lot of people are going to try to invest into. Alongside of this, she's able to apply shields and make the enemy take more damage taken So it is very powerful. She works off of 2 different set effects, so you can very well farm those sets in 2.0 when we get the Navi set if you want to, but currently we're not going to talk about that too much because that's just getting too far ahead. Now for her, no matter what you want to do, this is one of the few characters, no matter what, you want to get everything up. Though if you want an optimal setup, you don't technically need this second skill because your main setup is going to be 1-3-1-3 for spamming as much as possible. As I did say, the first skill is going to allow you to reduce enemies' defense, which lasts for 3 whole turns, while the third skill here is going to allow you to then buff one of your teammates, aka your DPS, and then make it so an enemy now loses a certain affinity. So if they are null, they now go to, or at least, or if they're null, repel, or drain, they now go to resist. If they are resist, they go to normal. If they're normal, they go to weak. And if they are weak, they take 25% more weakness damage. So she's definitely a huge talk, especially if you're looking for the next big thing to save up for. This would be the girl to save up for immediately. And this is going to be the new talk of the town when 2.0 does end, and everyone should be looking forward to this next character. Now I'm gonna start doing this every time we get to a very big pivotal point of the characters. So you guys let me know down below in the comment section if you really do enjoy this here, just to give you guys a little bit of an insight on the characters. And of course, as units do come out, I will do a thorough explanation of how they do work and a build guide regarding them, so you don't have to worry about me ever just not going over these characters. But let me know down below what you think. What characters are you saving for? And thank you guys for watching the video. Until next time, everybody, peace out.